strawberry, cherry, well, sour cherry, glucosamine slushie, and that's my meal for today. It's you can see I ate quite a few of those Greek salad things, but now today it's the Mexican flavored ones, and that's to go with James's tacos, and that's, he'd eaten that much of his salad and he still hasn't drank his juice. But this is the sauce. I put it on one of his tacos, and we'll see if he even wants to squeeze more on. I don't know if he'll even like it. So that's that. And I tried a little bit, and I was like, no, I don't know. But we'll see. So this is my outfit for today. And really, like I was hiking in, well, I did hike in Elizabeth Hall wetlands in this, but mostly it was, I was just wearing this and the sports bra that's underneath. So, anyway.
Forward, sorry there, Dave.
There you go.
Yeah,
There's going to be some people working alongside of us, so I don't know how this will go. We'll see. But we'll try to do our best and see if it works out. If it doesn't, well, I guess that's that. First of all, I'll let you know how the slushie worked out really well today, because I didn't allow the ice to melt it. Or like all I did, I used frozen fruit, so the frozen sour cherries and the frozen strawberries, and then I just blend them up with some water, and it makes a really good slushie. It's not terribly sweet, but I don't like sweet. It wouldn't be nearly sweet enough for James, but whatever. So how's the cheese? I was figuring you could just put some of your tomatoes and stuff in the tacos if you wanted to. And I put 2 of them with the red ruby kraut and 2 without. So if you like the red ruby kraut, then I have some more here. You can just take some off my plate. So I'll let you know. All I did to make this is James had a craving for eggs. So he put in a special request yesterday. He put his order in, and he'd like eggs today. And so I asked him, I said, well, the eggs are more exciting if they're in tacos, so how about that, you know? And that's what he wants. So this is what I'm having. So it's all I did is I fried up the whites from 6 eggs with quite a few cloves of garlic, actually, chopped up. I like garlic. And chipotle powder, ground cumin and coriander, and what else? I didn't put salt because I have the red ruby kraut, and that'll be salty enough, I think. And oh, sliced Brussels sprouts and sliced red onions. So that went in there. So how's the egg? Good. Okay. So we'll see how I like it. And I put on mine, I just added the oh, I forgot. I'm gonna go in. James is gonna talk to you, because what I want to do is put the vegan keto salmon caviar on it. So it's not salmon, it's made with I've shown you it already. It's made with selenium's going in my head, but it's not that. It's the white chia seeds. They're high in selenium. So I'll go get those while James is talking to you about whatever he's going to talk to you.
Assassins Kanada. Started this yesterday. Wolfgang Weber. They said I showed you a couple of things that you shouldn't be encouraging. Is that page 76 and 121? Yeah. It's amazing things I remember, the amazing things I don't. So, yeah. They're kind of encouraging people to feed animals, wild animals in national parks. There, and let me see if I can 121 here.
see how this goes.
121. Much smaller picture, but that's apparently in Waterloo Park. It's temptation. But
That's not supposed to be
It's
on there.
one that
That's
we
supposed to be
avoid.
on that one. That would have been weird. That would have been a black olive on my Mexican thing. So that's them with the whatever on it. Yep, that's tasty. I preferred the Greek salad ones, but these ones are good.
How is that? Pretty good?
Yep, but the cheddar sauce is salty enough for me.
That's quite sour.
Yeah,
It's
that I
quite
don't
salty.
want the red ruby kraut. I was going to put red ruby kraut on my things as well, but
Yeah, is it the thicker one?
that sauce is too
Yeah, okay, I think this would be right.
too much salt for me. For to have both. It's good. It's a good sauce, I think. What do you think about it?
I like it.
There's more here for you to put on your other tacos if
Okay.
you want. Yeah, what a beautiful day. We had a great day hiking.
Yeah.
We went
Get too
to,
hot.
yeah, we've been wanting to do that. So we want to do, when we go to Cottonwood, that's on the west side, we figure, well, we may as well do a loop of it and do like both Cottonwood and Elizabeth Hall Wetland and stop at Bulk Barn on the way, because we like Bulk Barn. And the big ones on the west side. So we did that today, and we want it to be a habit. Just something we do. So we do both, because Elizabeth Hall Wetlands is really short hike. It's too short for us. At this time of year, we need to be doing more so that we get out.
Getting ready for water.
Yeah. I tried to eat some of that through my nose just now. Apparently, yeah.
Not recommended.
And it spilled on my pretty shirt. I'm such a mess. You can dress me up, but you can't take me anywhere, I guess.
So can I launch into this again?
Uh-huh.
Didn't want to interrupt. So this is aside from the two pictures of the squirrels, or chipmunks rather, getting fed in national parks, this is, I won't say it's a highly recommended book, because usually these tourist things are expensive. And it's only for a limited audience, people who can, well, people who speak German, right? And they might sell these actually in some of the more well-stocked tourist locations, like in Banff or something like that. I've noticed that they'll have maps and stuff like that. And some, park centers and so on. They got some really nice pictures. It's in format. It seems almost like semi. Well, it's not really plasticized, but it's durable kind of format. The binding seems made for rough usage, like when you're traveling and stuff like that. You recognize that place? There you go. Red Rock Canyon. Nice picture of it. So, good pictures generally. Got some information on accommodations and so on and so forth. A nice picture of something that might be found on the upper shield, or crest, or whatever it's called. Fields, grain fields, cloth fields, and mountains in the background.
Mess again.
I don't know if there is this many. This is a place that we go by
Yeah.
on the way north. I don't know if there's this many grain elevators left in Stavely.
No.
Yeah. But you'll see the occasional one that's left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is 2002 when this book came out. Had smashed in Buffalo Jump. I don't think you've ever been inside there, but you were there on a geological field trip and stuff like that. You recognize there?
Mm-hmm.
Prince of Wales Hotel. Waterton National Park. That place we go to, we could go in the summertime, maybe once a week or even weather permitting. Yeah, you probably recognize that, eh? Some Badlands. I suspect that's in Dinosaur Provincial Park. We've been there a couple of times. Here's a bar, Sam's Saloon in Rowley, and you can see there's kind of unofficial. It's almost like segregation here. There's regular folks, and these guys are dressed like Hutterites.
Well, it's just how it is. They probably know each other, and the other people don't know them.
Yeah, right. There's just a bar stool.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's the way people are. It's not like I'm kind of joking.
Yeah, okay.
But I was looking at those folks saying, yeah, who wears suspenders anymore? Not even old guys do anymore. I think my granddad did, but he was born in 1882. Yeah, that's not 1982, but 1882. But there's some things that just I'm enjoying myself. So this is Waterton Lakes National Park. It's where the prairie meets the mountains, right? It's one of the perhaps a few places in the world.
Nice picture. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's Maskinonge Lake there, or could be. Can't identify that. It's too wide to be a river. The Bar U Ranch, we've never been there, but I always see the sign when we're driving up through Calgary. It's rare that we'd make Calgary a destination. Yeah, we've seen this, the Moline Canyon. This is not recommended or anything like that, but there are places where a person might be able to jump over it. It's so narrow, but it's deep. Do not jump over it, please.
Wow, that was delicious. I want to eat more, but I really shouldn't.
Yeah, so there's the Columbia ice field. And that's the tourist thing, looking very untouristy. Usually it's just crowded, something you want to avoid if at all possible. It's really insane. Insanely overpopulated. This is one of the highest waterfalls on the whole continent, it says. So I don't know how to pronounce it, Tekakar Falls or something like that. We've been right to the base of it. It comes highly recommended, the falls itself. And, if you can handle it, there's a trail that goes north of there where you'll see any number of falls. Twin Falls is up there, and so on and so forth. There's Lake Louise. I think it's Lake Louise. It looks very different from the usual pictures of Lake Louise. We've been there, had that done to us. Way too many people for our taste.
I can understand why a lot of people want to go there, though.
Well, it's lovely, and people like hanging with each other, even when they're getting out in nature.
And it's
close
really
to Calgary.
ritzy.
It's really ritzy. So if you want to pay a lot of money, go for it. You want to catch someone else's. You recognize the place? Mudhart Conservatory in Edmonton. Never been there myself. You've been inside it though, right? The Mudhart.
So beautiful.
But I've seen it from the outside, fairly up close. We were at the Edmonton Folk Festival one year. Might have been 2006 or something like that. Oak Island, it is a national park. You can see a few of these fellas and gals. Buffalo, fairly up close. Best we've ever seen, and not fenced in, is in Grasslands Provincial Park, actually. We drove right by. He was in the ditch, right? We drove right by him. I was afraid we'd spook him and he'd hammer our car. He was very Pacific, as I think buffalo tend to be, or bison. I always say buffalo. Oh, Calgary's downtown. I'll spare you the view, folks. You want to see it, you can. Obviously. Pay your way. Got some nice stuff on British Columbia, stuff that Pauline would recognize. You went all the way to Vancouver when you were younger, right? Or did you get to Victoria as well?
Oh, there's pictures of my mother pushing me in a stroller at the
But you don't remember.
gardens.
Yeah.
Victoria.
I've never been to Victoria. There's one waterfall that would be cool to see. Wells Gate Great Provincial Park. We've been to.
But that's the only time I guess I was. Because that's on the island, isn't it?
Victoria definitely is on Vancouver.
Bouchard Gardens.
I believe.
So, but that's the only time when I was a little baby. I don't remember.
So I went across Hell's Canyon, I think it's called Hell's Gate Canyon, on one of these aerial things. I don't think this carries a car, but the thing that we went over, it was at Boston Bar going to North End or something like that. I was frightened. It took a whole car across.
So strange.
Yeah, I gather that particular thing in fairly recent past was mothballed. They don't have it anymore. So. Don't turn up at Boston Bar along the Fraser River Canyon and expect to go over in a aerial ferry, I guess is what they call it. But, like Alberta's got some amazing scenery, but British Columbia is stunning. I've actually been to Prince George. It's a little bit boring, I've got to say. Like you don't expect scenery like that in BC, right? Where's the mountains? Well, they're there, but they're quite a distance away. My youngest brother used to live there.
It's a good meal.
Anyway, comes recommended. Get it out of your library or something like that in Karlsruhe or München or wherever you're at. But try not to buy it. It's probably just hugely expensive. What were we going to talk about? On the Assassins of the Trail. Or as this is called, on the Trail of the Assassins. So, this guy was kind of an assassin of the trail.
So you don't want juice again today?
I don't feel like it.
Okay.
The salad kind of upset my stomach a little bit. The garlic, I think it was. But, how much time?
Well, it's 10 minutes.
Anyway, Jim Garrison, he was district attorney for quite a period in the 60s and maybe even into the 70s in New Orleans, the Big Easy. So, he's an interesting kind of fella, if you look at the head of the mafia, and that's the mafia, not the mob, the underworld or anything like that, the head of the mafia, Carlos Marcello, they probably mispronounce it, say Carlos Marcello. Let's see how many pages he's got. Out of about 400 pages, see how many he's devoted to Marcello. 7 pages. Okay. He's got how many pages devoted to a guy called Frank Klein? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. There's something wrong with that. Something seriously wrong when you've only got 7 pages. Carlos Marcello, I gather, admitted, almost like on his deathbed, well, more like boasted about whacking JFK along with a few other folks. So let's look up Trafficante. Santo or
Be back in the
Santos.
sun. It's cold in there.
2 pages. The guy, head of the mob, centered out of Tampa, but Florida, I think Georgia, parts of Georgia, into Alabama. Yeah, a really bad guy. And yeah, please. A really bad guy, and apparently he boasted or admitted to having contributed to Kennedy's assassination. 2 pages out of 400. That's unacceptable. Let's see, who was the head of the mafia down in Las Vegas? And well, he was working for the Chicago mafia in Las Vegas and Los Angeles, Southern California. His name was Johnny Rosselli. Let's see how many pages Rosselli merited here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, only 5 pages. And he admitted to, he was making noises and he was going to have to testify. He might have done some secret testifying in front of one of the commissions in the 70s. And in very short order, he ended up dismembered in a oil drum floating in Biscayne Bay, Santos Traficante's territory, folks. So, yeah, there was some reason why he was whacked. You know, did the CIA do that? I don't think so. The CIA doesn't operate that way domestically. Come on. Rosselli, and who was his boss out of Chicago? Sam Giancana. Let's see how many. Sam Giancana. 2 pages. Okay, Sam was boasting about, you know, what was he saying? Something like, we got him. Talking about JFK. We got him. And he ended up dying prematurely. I think he was having to testify and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh, maybe that was the CIA. But he's boasting about it, the mafia killing him. And the CIA whacked him? I don't think so. So, the one thing Garrison has to be given credit for is there was a nasty guy in New Orleans when Garrison was district attorney, fairly young guy, called Guy Bannister. And he looks like a real tough fellow, right? Guy Bannister, what do you think?
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway. Apparently he dressed like with a rose in his lapel or some sort of flower in his lapel, trying to, you know, like make his image look a little more tender and so on and so forth. And is David Ferry even in this? No, it's not David Ferry. It's a guy called, I think it's Jack Martin. Anyway, I think it was same-day delivery. Same day Kennedy's assassinated in Dallas, Texas. In a different state, New Orleans, in Louisiana, they've been watching coverage of the assassination because, you know, it was amazing. You know, like all stuff was happening in real time and on TV. And, you know, like, they're showing pictures of Oswald who's been arrested already, Lee Harvey Oswald. And Jack Martin is boozing it up with Guy Bannister, a former member of apparently of the Office of Naval Intelligence, head of the FBI chapter, shall we say, in Chicago, former head. And I think it's Jack Martin says to Guy Bannister, they're getting a little bit sloshed. He says, I saw who you were working with this summer. Who was in New Orleans in the summer of 1963? After there, he ended up in Dallas. But in the summer, he was in New Orleans. Lee Harvey Oswald. And he was handing out pamphlets, fake pamphlets, and pretending to be a communist or communist sympathizer. Fair play for Cuba committee or something like that. And he made the mistake of putting a stamp on some of these pamphlets. Now this is not an internet phenomenon or anything like that. The evidence exists. It's the same building that Guy Bannister worked out of. Same building. And witnesses saw him hanging with Guy Bannister. Okay. And going back, here's David Ferry, hanging with David Ferry, who worked with Bannister. David Ferry did a variety of things, including running guns to Cuba and stuff like that.
Those are some very fun eyebrows.
Well, he couldn't help it. He was suffered from alopecia or something like that. He's bald all over, right? And so those are fake eyebrows. I think they were kind of painted on. And this is kind of a very bad wig that he's wearing. He was played by Joe Pesci, I think, in JFK, the movie by Oliver Stone, and stuff like that. So these guys are really bad guys, and they were hanging with Lee Harvey Oswald. And of course, like Jack Martin ends up, I believe he ended up in hospital because Guy Bannister, when he was saying to Guy Bannister, "Hey, I saw who you're working with," Guy Bannister proceeded to pull his gun. Now he used the peaceful end of the gun on Jack Martin.
Okay, I want to point something out here because I was reading the thing afterwards. So there's the ingredients. Sorry, there might be some cheese smears on it. But look at how much sodium there is.
It's
a lot of
very
sodium.
Salty.
Yep. There's like really not much in the way of nutrition. Huge saturated fat. Look at that. Lots of.
Well, it's tasty stuff, I gotta say, but it's not recommended as part of your daily diet.
I don't know why. Like Health Canada has been putting these warning high saturated fat on products.
Yep.
Why is it not on this thing?
Well, they didn't even put the magnifying glass on it, because this deserves a microscope, like an electron microscope. Okay, folks?
So I mean, a lot of the time you see this non-GMO and you think, oh, dairy-free, well, that must be more healthy or whatever, and it's like, not this one. This one.
Yeah, it's an instant heart attack or a stroke or whatever.
It's like per quarter cup, which is half of that pouch, and honestly, James would easily eat probably that whole pouch if he felt like it. So. Yeah, that's a lot of saturated fat there and a lot of salt. So
I can even taste the salt, and I'm fairly.
And I love salt. Like I prefer high fat and salty. James prefers high fat and sugar more. He likes sweet.
I like salt pretty good, but I prefer sweet. Yeah. It's something I have to work against. Anyway, how much time is left?
Sorry.
2 minutes?
I don't know. We were 20 seconds.
20 seconds. So
say goodbye.
We'll take up with a pistol whipping of this Guy Bannister. Like, I just can't imagine pistol whipping anyone. They could say anything to me, and I'd never pistol whip them.
Yeah, that's...
So Guy Bannister was accused of having dealings with this so-called assassin of JFK.